Hello there, I'm Catherine, and today we're going to be talking about sensory activities. So a sensory activity, I'm sure you're all familiar with, our preschool years. It is just an activity that is set up and meant to engage our kids' senses. And so sensory activities are so important during the big developmental years in our kids. It helps build exploration, love of learning, imagination, creating, dreaming. And I just love doing sensory activities with our kiddos. It also helps build those fine motor skills and gross motor skills. It helps them learn how to manipulate materials. It helps them take more risks. And it helps with their social skills. If they're playing in a sensory bin with playmates, it helps them pick up on nonverbal cues. It helps them learn how to share, say please and thank you. And so there are just so many benefits to setting up sensory activities for our kids. So today we're going to be talking about a nature sensory bin. In my art groups, I've done a number of different kind of sensory bins. I've done cooked spaghetti noodles. I've done shaving cream. I've done big blocks of ice and liquid watercolors and let the kids chip away at it. I've also done the simple, really dry beans or dried rice in a basket. And so there's just so many different ways that you can engage your kids in sensory activities. Today we're going to talk about a nature sensory bin. So the things I love about a nature sensory bin. The first is our kids love nature. If you've ever taken your kid out to the woods, you know that they love to jump, explore, pick up bugs, skip rocks, break sticks, do all of the things. And so nature just has this ability to draw us in, and that includes our kids. So super engaging. Kids are always interested in nature. And the other thing I love is that it can be relatively or almost always free. So I have collected a variety of supplies that I just literally walked around my yard and picked up different things. There is no pressure with supplies. There's nothing fancy that you need. Whatever you have at home, whether it's just leaves or just rocks, kids will find a way to explore and have fun. So some ideas for supplies: I have feathers, wood slices, and pine cones. I also found some rocks and some leaves, dandelions and acorns. Now that it's getting summertime, we'll have more flowers, and I have found some purple weeds in our grass. I got some sticks and twigs, and then just some clippings from our front bushes. So you don't need all of these things. Like I said, you could just do a bin of leaves and kids would still have an amazing time exploring. But that's what I have. I also always supply some sort of scoop or bowl or cup, something that kids can pour into, dump out of, mix in, and then some sort of utensil to do the scooping and the stirring. I find that my kids love to make nature potions with the supplies, and so they'll mix things up and dump it out. So I always like to provide some dishes for the sensory bin. Now what you do is, with this, I do it with water. So I'll fill up a plastic tote from Walmart, a $5 tote with water, warm water, and dump all the supplies in and just let them have fun. If you're using a dry supply like rice or beans, you could use a cardboard box or a basket. There's really no rules to setting these up. The only guardrails I give my kids is, one, I don't let them dump the water out on purpose. So if dumping starts to happen, we have to readjust. And I don't let them throw the supplies. Other than that, I don't give them very many boundaries. I just let them explore. And these sensory bins are great if you're having friends over for a play date or a birthday party, or you're just having a picnic in the backyard. I'll put this out in our backyard and let the kids move in and out of the activity throughout the afternoon as their interest indicates. So there's really no pressure, and it's good for so many different social settings. I have set these up with my art groups. Whenever I host my art groups, usually families come, so there's older kids, toddlers, and I find that if the kid isn't engaged with the art project, they will typically move over to the sensory bin. Or if a little toddler comes, a brother or sister, they will enjoy the sensory bin as well. So it's great for all different ages. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear if you've ever done one. What are your favorite supplies and materials? Or maybe what hasn't worked really well. I know when I set up the spaghetti noodle one, it was cooked noodles and I dyed them different colors. And it was fantastic because the texture was real slimy and the kids were burying things in it and they just really enjoyed it. But when everyone left, I was hosting it in a gymnasium. The whole gym floor where we were at was coated in dried spaghetti noodles. So I sat there for 2 hours scraping noodles off the gym floor. So lesson learned, that's an outdoor activity. But other than that, there is so much freedom in exploring these sensory bins. And so I really enjoy this activity. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you've done this and what has worked or not.